Good guys, welcome back to All About Arsenal. And today, a topic that every Arsenal fan is talking about, a topic that every Arsenal fan gets stirred up whenever we look at the starting 11. We look to the right, we see the Saka, we're like, we expected that. Then we go to the left, and we begin to see something where our hearts start to jump a little bit. And we start to ask ourselves a couple of questions. Why Gabriel Martinelli again? And this is not a video to bash him because he's an Arsenal player and I still love him as an Arsenal player. You know how it is. Even though during the summer, a lot of people did not want Noni Madueke to come to Arsenal, but eventually like, listen, he's a gooner. And what he did for England and how he played in the last match, they did very, very well. I know some of you saying, oh, yo, Dio, I've not seen you do a video for a bit. It was the internationals. And when the internationals happen so soon after the third match of the season, it kind of kills the vibe. It kills the momentum. So I took a little bit of a break. But I was planning this video and I'm bringing it to you, even though it was the day before, not in Forest. As they say, no time like the present. So let's get into it. So before I get right into it, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much. If you're a returning gooner, thank you so much for coming back to see your Uncle Dio, your Uncle D. Much appreciated. And if it's your first time, once again, hit that subscribe button and hit like. I'm currently on the road to 10K. At this moment, I'm roughly on about 7.5K. And I'm really enjoying the journey. I like it. It's good. And I appreciate all my subscribers. Thank you so much. Right. Gabriel Martinelli. You know what? This must be an important video because as soon as I started this video, it's starting to rain outside, but I'm trying to concentrate on the camera and not look at what's actually going on. So what we're saying, let's look at a couple of points to see what has happened to Gabriel Martinelli. This guy had so much talent, so much promise. I remember his best season. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I think it was a 2022-2023 season. He scored about 15 goals, had about 8 assists. This guy was on fire. And I really loved watching Arsenal at that time. It's like you kind of didn't know where the attack could come from. It could come from Saka, it could come from Martinelli, and they were just as dangerous as each other. And they were causing teams problems all over the gaff. I remember when we went to Anfield to play Liverpool and we're up 2-0, then Xhaka lost his head and we know what happened. We ended up drawing 2-2. I remember watching that match and Martinelli was so explosive. But since then, there's been a sharp decline. So let's get into it. Arsenal family, let's get into it. One of the things we have to consider, and I've got my notes here because I don't want to miss anything. Number one, which I was actually thinking about, is this: the tactical evolution in the way that Arsenal are playing. When Arteta first took over, you have to remember Arsenal were very explosive. They had a little bit of that Klopp element for Liverpool. There was that heavy metal style of football, explosive counter-attacking football, attack. I remember even when Man City came to play us at the Emirates, we tried to do the same and we got whooped like 4-1. That ain't happening again. You know what we did to them last time they came to the Emirates. You get me? And since then, since we've had opportunities that we almost won the league and missed it 3 times now, even from last season, Arsenal's style of football has changed. We've become very conservative, very possession-based football, which is good, but we find ourselves not actually doing anything with it. And I think this is one of the things that's affecting a player like Gabriel Martinelli. He's an explosive player. I keep saying prayer. Probably we have to pray for the brother. That's why I keep saying prayer instead of player. He's an explosive player. So with a player like that, he needs space to express himself. This is why he's going to be so effective on their counter-attack. Do you understand? So when we were playing that style of football, it suited to Martinelli. He would have that space to run in. And also at that time, teams were still underestimating Arsenal. They still thought they can go toe-to-toe with us. But now you realize that style has changed. Teams just sit deep. They'll sit in that low block, not even the mid block, just a low block, and not let us get through. Now you see that Martinelli is struggling. And some people are saying, oh yeah, you know, he's not doing so well. But you have to realize he doesn't have the technical ability to unlock a certain team with his style of dribbling. Martinelli is not the cleanest dribbler, in my opinion. He's more of, I'll use my pace to get past you type of player. That's why on the counter-attack, he looks brilliant. On the transition, he looks great because he's going to hit you with that pace. But when the team is sitting in a low block and you need somebody that's kind of more technical, like a Rodrigo, for example, or even a Lookman who can actually use their superior dribbling skills to get past players, that's not Martinelli. He can just run with the ball, and that's what he's good at doing. So I think because Arsenal have transitioned and we've changed our style of football, it's more glaring that, yo, he's not as effective as you thought he was, but it's not clearly on Martinelli. That's his skill set. And in football, we have to understand that when a player's got a certain skill set, and now he's like 23, he's setting that way. Getting him to do something that he's not used to doing, can't do that. Like, it's trying to say that Harry Kane, I wanted to be an expert dribbler. We know that's not him. That's not him. He's a poacher. I'm trying to say you can't change him at this moment in time. You have to play to his strengths. So, to be honest, this is why Martinelli will do better at a team like Wolves, for example. He would shine. Teams that always, most of the time, have to sit in a low block because they are weaker against other opposition, such as the Liverpools, Man Cities, whoever it is. He will probably thrive at a team like that. But because Arsenal's style has changed and we're facing low blocks, he's not equipped. This is why Trossard tends to be picked over him at times, because he has that technical ability. Trossard is not quick, but he has the good feet to get past players because he's so technical. If Trossard had pace as well, we probably would have not even looked for another left player. But I'm happy we got Eze. Let it all work out. Anyway, so that's my first point. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? And that's one thing we have to consider, that the style of play of Arsenal has changed and is just not suited to Martinelli. And let's be honest, we cannot change our whole play just to suit to him, especially when he's not the main goal scoring person like a Gyökeres, which we all expect him to do bits, but Arsenal need to change up their tactics to meet up to Victor Gyökeres. But we can chat about that for another video. Right, let's go into point number 2. Right, point number 2 is the lack of support. You have to understand, Martinelli did so well, and I believe it's that 2022-2023 season. Xhaka, he had Xhaka and Zinchenko. They were constant for him. Just like on the right-hand side, why Saka thrives so much? He has constants, and his constants is Odegaard. Odegaard always floats to the right-hand side because he knows he can cook with Saka. And you always get Ben White overlapping. So that's a great support to Saka, and it opens up space for him to do what he needs to do. He can provide a ball into Ben White, or he can use him as a shield. He can use him as a decoy, cut inside and hit a lovely one on his left hand, on his left foot, and score a goal. But we realize that Martinelli's not really an inside forward. He likes to hug the touchline, which is all good. So we have to play to his strengths. But that left-hand side has been so inconsistent. Timber played there for some time. We lost Xhaka as well. We didn't really know that Declan Rice, was he going to stay permanently in that left-hand side 8 or as a 6? And he floated in those positions for the past 2 seasons. It looks like now with Martin Zubimendi, he's more cemented as that left side 8, which is great. So I think that lack of stability for Martinelli and the lack of overlapping runs has not really done him so well. But perhaps with Calafiori doing so well, and I've been impressed with Calafiori. Let me know what you think in the comments. That guy, he locked down Salah. He locked him down, and that was the side I was worried about. He killed it. He did very, very well. Perhaps does he need more games where he's consistently got Calafiori overlapping? But even if Calafiori is overlapping, he needs to be able to release balls early. This is something that he's not very good at doing. And we'll get to that point about decision making. When it was against Liverpool, he had a wonderful opportunity to slip a ball into Victor Gyökeres, and he didn't do it. And we all know what happened at the end. Missed opportunity, and that's what's probably frustrating Victor Gyökeres so much, and we need to change our style of play to him. But back to Martinelli. So the point I'm trying to bring out is that because there's been a lack of stability on that left-hand side, perhaps that's one of the reasons why we're not getting the best out of Gabriel Martinelli. Or does he have to improve his skill set? Does he now have to learn how to cut inside, try and take shots like Saka does on his right-hand foot and try and get a goal like that? You need to be unpredictable now, especially when we have teams sitting in a low block. We need unpredictability to unlock those blocks. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that a lack of stability has been impacting the way Gabriel Martinelli has been playing? Point number 3. This is the one we all know. Decision making. My guy. His decision making is poor. And the thing is, right, I have to ask myself, does the Arsenal staff, coaching staff, have to take the L for this one? I don't think it's on Martinelli. The reason I say this is that we all know that his decision making is poor. And I was asking myself this question, and I sat there thinking, isn't there anybody in the coaching staff that is sitting with him to show him the examples where he needs to make better decisions? So for example, that point that I raised up when he should have released the ball early to Victor Gyökeres, is somebody sitting with him, going through that video and saying, yo, bro, this is what you should have done. Because I'm not seeing any improvements in his decision making. He keeps doing the same thing. He runs to the flank, runs out of space, then thinks, oh crap, what can I do? Passes the ball back. No confidence to take on his player, and he keeps doing that. This is why Arsenal are so predictive or predictable to play against, because on that left-hand side, I'm sure the opposition, the manager, the coaching staff are saying, just run with him. Just run with him. Stay tight to him. Just run with him. He doesn't have the ability to cut in. He won't dribble past you because he's not that confident. So just run with him and you'll see what you will do. Then by the time he gets to the end of the road, what happens? He's doubled up on. He can't do nothing. Loses the ball or passes it back. This is what Arsenal have been suffering. And like I said, I will express my point again. If we, the fans, can see that his decision making is not good, who is working with him? Because personally, let me know what you think. I'm not seeing any improvement with this. I'm not seeing any improvement at all. It's like it's the same thing. He's just running around like a headless chicken and there's nothing for him to really do. There's no end product. And that's what's so frustrating. He won't put good balls in. He's not doing anything. And if you begin to check in his stats on the PL, his stats have dropped. His successful dribbles have dropped. His shots have dropped. His crosses have dropped. The only thing that's good is his interceptions and defending. But that's not the primary work of a winger. So there's also a part of me, I'm starting to think, right, is Arteta to blame in a certain aspect that you're playing on that left-hand side or you're telling him to do stuff? Yes, he's good defensively, but let's be honest, any player could be good defensively. Let's be honest, you just got to tell him, listen, track back, support your fullback and make sure that guy, e.g. Salah, doesn't get past you. I'm not saying it's easy, but that's what effectively you have to do. Track back and try and defend, put in a bit of a shift. But my point is that Arteta can see this. Why are they not trying to adjust the style of play to the left-hand side? Why have they not made that left-hand side stronger just as the right-hand side is? But let me know what you think in the comments. Another thing that we can clearly say, which is really affecting Gabriel Martinelli, confidence. He's a player, and this leads on for my last point, decision making. When a player is constantly making the wrong decisions, it's often a sign that they are lacking confidence in what they're doing. So you can see when he's playing, he's running with the ball, but it's like he doesn't really have confidence in what he wants to do. How do you know? He hardly takes on his man or he passes the ball back. That is a very big sign. Saka will only play the ball back if there's about 2-3 defenders on him. If he's one-to-one, he's taking you on. Saka is taking you on one-to-one. How many times is Gabriel Martinelli isolated with a fullback and you won't take them on? He will try and run past them, but they'll just match his run because they know what he's going to do, right? That's why his speed only works well on a transition. He's not a confident player anymore. He's lost that confidence. You can see it. So I continuously ask myself, right, with a big club like Arsenal, I'm sure they have sports counselors, football counselors that sit down and say, you know what, put on the specs and say, Gabriel, please let me know, what are you feeling? How are you feeling? Because, you know, the manager's a bit concerned about your performance and it's just not the same anymore. What's going on up there? He's lacking confidence. And obviously, I'm sure he's reading criticisms. He's listening to criticisms from big time pundits, previous football players, great players like Henry, who has actually mentioned this about Gabriel Martinelli. And he's soaking it in and he's taking it in and it is impacting. Let's be honest. Some people say, oh, sticks and stones. Doesn't matter. When we're in this world of social media where everybody has an opinion, from the least person to the greatest football player ever, it will impact you. And I believe it is, because he's playing without any confidence at all. He can't take on his man. And you often have to ask yourself, why does Arteta keep on playing him? I think he keeps on playing him because he's probably thinking, the more I play him, something will click again. It needs to happen up there. Perhaps Martinelli is feeling the pressure because when he had his explosive season, that 2022-2023 season, he was playing without fear. There was no fear. He was fearless. He'll run at players, take you on. But now he's playing like somebody that's lacking confidence, because I think, going back to Arteta, probably some of the instructions they're giving is, do not lose the ball. Don't lose the ball, my guy. Keep possession. And because that's in his head, he's constantly thinking, okay, there's a 50-50 chance I can get past this player. Perhaps I'll take the safe route and pass it back. This is why Arsenal are not winning games by big margins, because we're not taking risks anymore. And who's that on? Can't say it's on Martinelli. It's probably on Mikel Arteta. Mikel, You might have to take the L's for this. Another point that's actually affected Martinelli was injuries. Like I said, he had that wonderful season 2022, 2023, 15 goals, about 8 assists. After that, he got injured. And when he got injured, Martinelli was never the same. I think he had about 2 hamstring injuries from that point. And you know that when players either tear their ACL or hamstring, those are life-threatening injuries. And he's never been the same. Last season, he didn't get injured. He probably had a little niggling thing here and there, but nothing too serious that kept him out for a considerable amount of time. But he hasn't been the same. However, let's ask ourselves, is he still feeling the effects of those injuries? Because it's quite full on. You can imagine, I know people that play in semi-pro leagues and the challenges of that. I can only imagine how challenging it is at Premier League level. All the money, the investment and the pressure that's on you to constantly perform every week. I'm sure it is actually affecting him. So the question is, has he quite recovered? Because even when Timber came back from his ACL, you realize that he wasn't the same player. Now he's getting back to that peak level of fitness. But I don't know. I don't see anything in Martinelli's performance that still suggests that, okay, is he not the same player he was before? But those are some of the points I want to get past. I've exhausted my points, just had a quick look to see if there's anything else. But let me know what you think in the comments, man. He's just not the same player anymore. And you now have to ask yourself that the best thing for Gabriel Martinelli is to be on the bench for now. And I think they now have to use him like a Trossard, an impact sub. He needs to be the player you put on when the opposition are tired and you run them ragged after they've played against Eze for like 75 minutes and they just, listen, this guy, he's twisted, he's turned, he's nutmegged me so many times, I'm tired. The Martinelli, or that player when you're 2-0 up, let's say against a Newcastle, they're pressing you, you take off an Eze, bring on a Martinelli. Now, the afterburners, burn them out now with a pace. Sit in deep. When you get that ball, run at the fullback now. Because he's going to be tired. So you've probably got more of a chance of getting past your fullback in that scenario. So I think that the way they use Martinelli needs to change to get the best out of him. Or you know what, whilst he's still 23, sell him on. It's worrying. If Martinelli was playing like this at the age of 18, you could say, you know what, for an 18-year-old, he's decent. He's got time. At 23, no, there's no more patience anymore. It's now or never. But with Eze coming in, it's going to be hard for him to get a sniff. I do believe he will make a good squad player, but when Bayern came sniffing for him, those guys should have sold him, negotiated 40 million. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Perhaps, you know what, and this is not me just saying this because I've not been impressed with how he's playing for Arsenal, but for his own career. The worst thing is to be constantly scrutinized in the public eye. I'm thinking that you're not good enough. Like players like Nicholas Jackson. I'm happy he's gone to Bayern because let this guy try and revive, have a resurgence in his career. But the sun's about to shine and it's going to affect my video. But let me know what you think in the comments. What should we do with Gabriel Martinelli? And let me know what you think of the points I raised. And come on, you gooners, I expect us to beat Nottingham Forest tomorrow. They've got a new coach, as you know, Ange Postecoglou. He plays chaos type of football. But there could be a wounded lion that might try to sting us. Let's see. But I expect Arsenal at the Emirates, debut for Eze. Let's get it. Until the next video, peace.